So everybody, welcome to our little exhibit on how you can get some plants started. So you've already spent enough time looking at my mug on the video. So I want you guys to meet my son Jackson.
Hello.
And that's my daughter Rebecca.
Hello.
And they're going to show you how easy it is to get a little vegetable garden started. And the idea here, by the way, is it's super easy to do a vegetable garden. Anybody can do it. You can do it in small containers. You could do it in the ground. You could do it on a windowsill with window boxes. And you're going to do it. You're all going to do it yourselves. We're just going to get this thing started. And guess what? Just look at when you buy a packet of seeds, it also tells you what to do. So let me just show you what we got going here, and then these guys are going to show you just what they're going to do with it. But here you see like broccoli and arugula and stuff. These are some things that we all picked out, and I had my other daughter Kira, who didn't want to be on this video, but she's quite artistic, and she did these little little sticks for for identifying the plants once they get started. And you'll find out in a second. If you look at this, I'm going to read it to you. This is saying that this tells you exactly what to do. Sow in the full sun. The peas will tolerate some frost, and they're very sensitive to heat. So basically, you don't have to you don't really have to know what you're doing. The seed packets are going to tell you what to do. So Jackson, why don't you tell us what you're going to do with the stuff that you have laid out?
So right now I'm just going to take our container we filled up with dirt. You can use any container, and then I'm going to kind of poke little holes that are around 1 inch deep, put the seeds in, and then cover them back up, and then we'll water them.
Okay, hold on a second. So you said use dirt. What do you mean by dirt? What should we use?
You should go Lowe's, Home Depot, any place, and get potting soil. It's different than the dirt that you're going to see outside, as in it's good for aeration, so there's a lot of oxygen get to the roots, and it'll hold the water well, and it also has lots of nutrients, so your plants can grow healthy and strong, and you don't need to add fertilizer to it.
Okay.
So this is just some Miracle-Gro from Lowe's, and yeah.
All right, so why don't you just, you guys can show how easy it is to do this. The other thing is that we're doing right now is we're assuming that if you had a small space, you might you just might want to have some little containers like we have here and put some soil in there, and then get the seeds established that way. If you have a plot of ground that you want to plant gardens on, it's still recommended that you that you get things started now, where you kind of have it in a controlled setting. You can also, it's really good right now to get things started indoors and have them sprout, and then put them out when it's safe. You just really, most plants that you plant, you want to get them in the ground or outside after the threat of frost. Things like lettuces, like we have arugula and stuff here, that they can take the frost. Whereas, several of the other plants, like if you were going to grow watermelons or something, you're definitely going to want to get them outdoors once you know that it's not going to go below 32 anymore. So you guys can just sort of show what you're doing, and Beck, you can help if you want. You want to open a packet of seeds and plant the stuff?
So I set up around 12 little rows or 12 little holes, and you can just take out as many seeds as you want. You don't really need to use a full packet. You can use them all throughout the season. I'm just going to kind of put one or two seeds in each, and then we'll cover them up so that we'll give them a shot to grow. We're going to be planting a lot more seeds than will end up in the garden, because as you guys probably know, when you plant stuff, it doesn't always grow. That's kind of why trees and flowers have so many different seeds, or release so many seeds, as it's kind of in order to let a lot of them grow as much as kind of can grow with competition and other aspects of life in the soil.
And back to what I said earlier, that again, you trust your seed packet for a lot of the what you need to know, because some, like the peas that we're planting, they're going to tell you not to separate multiple plants. Whereas if you plant something like a watermelon, which has big individual seeds, it might tell you to put one seed in a certain spot. So again, this is just kind of to demonstrate that it's real simple. But you can, if when in doubt, check your seed packet. When in doubt, just go online and say, like, how do you plant radishes or something like that. This stuff is very, very accessible, and it's really, really fulfilling. So keep going.
So as he said a minute ago, we're going to leave these inside. We're going to put them on our front windowsill so they can get as much direct sunlight as possible, and also kind of keep it protected from the cold outdoor temperatures that fluctuate all throughout the spring. And then probably around sometime in May, we'll move them out to the garden and plant them. You can keep them inside containers. You can kind of do it however you want. That's the cool thing about this is whatever your situation is set up, you can do it that way. So back, you want to water them, because now we covered them with soil. These guys can be planted outside early. The beets, these are beets. They're very tolerant of frost, but we just are going to set them inside so they can as we're going to set up all the other ones. So you can water that a little bit gently.
I put a lot of water in there, so it's heavy, so take it easy.
Keep going. I'll tell you.
Look how simple this is. Even a 10-year-old can do it.
That should be good. And then we're going to let that kind of drain through. One of the ways to tell if you're doing pots, when there's enough water, is it'll drop out the bottom. As you can see, the soil, it holds the water pretty well. It's taking its time to seep through. And there we go. Now, if you look down there, it is dripping out and getting me all wet.
All right, so it's dripping through the table. Nice. So that means we've thoroughly watered our plant here.
And then just kind of spread it out so it's nice and even.
Certainly make sure that if you're, you can just use your own paper cups if you have them, but if you do that, make sure that you put drainage holes in the bottom and then put a saucer underneath. But you want to water your plants thoroughly. You don't want to overwater them, but you absolutely need to give them a place for the excess water to drain, because once they start sprouting roots, you don't want your roots to kind of get rotten. Where's the stick that Kira did that goes in here?
Better find the beet one.
All right.
And you always want to make sure all your plants are properly, at least you know which one is which. So as he said, Kira made little popsicle sticks to
Isn't
show
that cool?
What they are. You could, it doesn't have to be as artistic and pretty as that. You can do it however you want, but just so you know which is which. Yeah.
You guys want to plant one more? That's real simple, but as they're doing this, just you can certainly hit me with any questions that you have about this. I've done all kinds of gardening and stuff, and but the thing is, think about, like, what do you want to grow? What do you want to eat? You could grow corn if you have the space for it, and then you'll have like 10-foot stalks. You could, tomatoes are awesome. You can grow tomatoes out of a container. I'm going to take it away from them for a second and just show you, even though you'll see this on a different video. But here's these are strawberries from last year. I did nothing with these. Okay, they still have the little tag. I got a ton of strawberries out of these. They're just in a basic plastic container. I didn't like seclude them from the cold, and they even stayed mostly green through the winter. And strawberries are perennial, so they keep coming back. All the stuff that we're planting over here are annuals. They'll die out once it gets cold, but you get them going now, and they'll keep going all the way into September, October.
So here we have, these are a type of pea. They got nice and big seeds. They're literally just one or two in each. They're just a dried out pea that you would eat. So that's pretty cool. You can kind of see how see what exactly you're eating the seed when you eat the peas, so that's cool to see. And then we're gonna put 1 or 2 in each hole, and then you wanna put the rest in?
Yeah, sure.
And then we'll cover that up and water it, and also properly label it.
And given that they're planting peas right now, the ecologist in me can't help but say a few things about what they're planting. Remember, we've seen legumes out in the wild. We've seen eastern redbud, we've seen black locust. We've been to a few different places where you saw pea pod-like structures hanging down from trees that no longer had leaves, and they were in the pea family. It's the legume family which are able to actually make their own nitrogen. It's called nitrogen fixing, but they can get nitrogen out of the sky basically, and work it into a solid form. But as they're planting their peas can grow like crazy. They have cute little flowers, and then I know that the instructions on the pea thing are going to say you might even want to like put some like mini trellis in there to stake your peas, because peas are a legume that'll grow like a vine. So again, you can get this stuff is fun. I mean, you can you could grow trellises for your peas. If you trellis your tomatoes, because we'll definitely plant tomatoes a little bit later this year. You could grow tomatoes 20 feet tall if you have the setup for them. But again, this will get you, if you haven't ever done this before, this will get you in touch, with learning how to do this stuff. And, and next thing you know, you can be designing your own little ways of doing things. So do you guys have any, that's pretty much, how to do it. I'd like you guys in my class to, you can go to a supermarket, you can go to like a Lowe's or Home Depot, you can go to you could just go online. Seeds could be as cheap as $1 a pack. You choose what you want, and then get your garden started and incorporate that into some of the journaling that you're doing, so that you can watch your plants grow, and then you'll be able to, feel really fulfilled once it's time to start picking the fruit, or if you do lettuces, you're just growing leaves, so they'll be ready that much sooner. So thanks guys for demonstrating, and guys back at in my class, have a great time making your garden. See you later.